Thank you, Minister. Madam Chair, Secretary General, dear colleagues, let me begin by saying it's a really great pleasure to be here. This is my first visit to Guyana. It's my first visit to the Secretariat, and I am really looking forward to a very open and productive exchange of views on how we can take our relationship forward. First of all, I must acknowledge and appreciate that all of you have made this effort to come here at very short notice. I'm truly grateful to you for that, because I know that you would have put yourselves at some inconvenience. But I assure you that it will be worth our collective while, because it will give us a chance at a very important juncture to see how we look at our relationship with a greater sense of purpose. As a broad point, I think it's all of us know that there is much that history and geography in a way has done to bind us together. Certainly, if there is a lack of bonds, cricket makes up for it, and I assure you that if you schedule the next meeting in this part of the world next year when the World Cup is on, I promise I will come. The only problem is a lot of other Indians would follow as well. But more seriously, I think today, we face similar challenges, similar aspirations, questions of prosperity, of reduction of poverty, quality of life. And if one looks especially at the last 5 years, the COVID experience, the increasing intensity and frequency of climate events, the yet and trade stress situations that many of us find ourselves in, and I would say food and energy security concerns, these are really pressing issues where it's important for us to sit down and discuss. And to do so, because this year we have the privilege of chairing the G20, and my Prime Minister is very clear that we will be there not just for ourselves, but also for the countries who are not on the G20 table. Therefore, we did a round of consultations on what we call the Voice of Global South process. Many of you participated in it. We are very grateful for that. So, as I said, this is really a time when we should really be looking at global problems and our own problems and seeing how we can find a solution together. Now, there are obviously some process issues, and I would like to confirm that we would like to hold the Joint Commission sometime this year. We seek your convenience in this regard. We are very flexible there. And when I look at the relationship itself, I think we rightly focus on capacity building, on development cooperation, and where we can be of help on disaster management and resilience. Now, in the last 4 years, since we had a meeting between Prime Minister Modi and many of your leaders in 2019, the window, the UNDP India window, which we opened up in 2017, has yielded a number of projects. We've agreed on 23 projects so far. I believe 10 of them are done. Some of them have been done through a CARICOM window, some of them through a Commonwealth window, some through a broader developing country window. But I would leave the thought with you that this is something we need to perhaps take forward with greater vigor. In the same way, today I would like to put forward for your collective consideration a proposal whether in the field of small and medium scale industry, small and medium enterprises, we would be open to supporting on a grant basis projects, individual projects of up to a value of $1 million, and we would solicit proposals from you. What we would like to do is to create a partner group in India, which will be from our small and medium enterprises, the Foreign Ministry fronting, and see whether our capability, which will include the supply of machinery, of technology, of training, whether if you can get really viable project offers from your side, we would be very, very happy to look at that. I know for some years now we've had discussions on working together in agriculture. We actually have an MOU between the Caribbean Agriculture Research Institute and our counterpart in India. It has not been operationalized for some reason. I do think it might be in our mutual interest to do so. The COVID brought out the growing importance of health security. What is it we could be doing more? Again, we have a global, I would say, initiative really at, it's a domestic initiative which we are taking on the global stage, which is really how to put generics, cost-effective generics, which would hugely benefit low-income consumers. Whether that is something we can be doing. We in fact today with our colleagues from Guyana. Not today, tomorrow at the business conference we have a presentation. I would hope that the same presentation I would request my colleagues to send to your respective countries so that our ambassadors can sit and walk you through it. If you feel that is of interest, the idea of really creating a system for low-cost generics to be available to your people is something we can look at. We would obviously like to create a regional hub for that to happen as well. And I should add that most of these would come, not most of these, all of these would come really from US FDA approved plants, of which currently we have about 600 of them in India. Moving on, a related point on wellness. There's been a lot of interest in yoga with the support of all of you. We started an International Day of Yoga in 2015. It's been spectacularly successful. But we are increasingly seeing post-COVID tourism benefit which flows out of it. There's a lot of wellness tourism which is happening in the world. So in the case of yoga too, if there's some way by which we can purpose it towards a much more deeper acceptance by your tourism industry, that is something we would be keen to do. I would like to draw to your attention that the WHO has actually approved the creation of the first traditional medicine center, the global center in India. So work is going on that as we speak. Obviously, a lot of it is Indian, but we are very open to soliciting traditional practices from every other part of the world. Energy, renewable energy particularly, is our collective interest. Many of you are members of the International Solar Alliance. I think 13 members are there from the CARICOM. I believe it's been of some help in capacity building, in some cases even of funding. I'll be again open to taking that forward. Regarding capacity building as a whole, we have for many years now under what we call the ITEC programs. We offer programs, exchanges, scholarships, but quite honestly the offtake has not been as strong as we would have liked. So looking at it very honestly, my suggestion which I would like you to consider is whether instead of inviting you to participate in a general course which we are doing globally for everybody, can we actually take domains or areas, specific areas which are of specific interest to the CARICOM, and we are prepared to customize programs in whatever area which are completely dedicated only to the requirements of CARICOM officials or users as the case may be. Finally, I want to stress the importance of people-to-people relations culture. Just want to underline that many of you are marking important anniversaries this year, next year, including my congratulations 50 years of CARICOM. And if there's any way we can be culturally contributive, please feel free to let us know. We will consider it a privilege in some way to be associated with whatever you're doing. So once again, really very, very sincere thanks today for assembling here, for encouraging me to come. And I hope, as I said, that this will be only the first of many visits. Thank you.